you have to be able to break yourself down, rebuild yourself in order to be successful in anything that you do, whether it's family, career, anything. And here, that's exactly what you're going to get.
Badass Agents Podcast. I am your host, AZ Araujo. And of course, this is brought to you by AZ and Associates Real Estate Group. And this program and this podcast all features badass agents, right? Those that have unique lives and have also done wonderful things in the industry as far as production and also impact. So today, with real life, real people in real estate, we have a special guest, Rookie of the Year, one of the top producers here with AZ and Associates, Miss Michelle Cordova.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. It is my pleasure. And now you've only been in real estate like, what, year and a half, if even that?
Close to a year, almost a year and a half.
Almost a year and a half, and you were actually our Rookie of the Year.
Yes. Now,
you were telling me how you got into this industry. Like, it wasn't one of these things where, you were even thinking of a couple of years ago. It was just like one of those things you listen to your voice, right? You were in corporate America for 20 years?
For 20 years.
And you were a manager, you were had a bunch of employees under you, right?
Right.
And just one day, what happened?
It just snapped.
Yeah.
One day, March 20th to be exact.
Oh, wow. It's almost like the anniversary.
I walked in. Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
I walked in and we had a meeting. Didn't go very well.
Uh-huh.
By 9 a.m. that morning, I'd resigned.
Wow.
And I left.
And that morning, you weren't thinking of leaving.
No.
You were just any normal day.
I had no idea I was leaving that day. And it was the best decision I ever made. Walked out of there just like, no weight on my shoulders. And didn't know what I was going to do.
Yeah. And what did your kids think about that? Like, after you made the decision, what did you think about that?
I had so much freedom.
Uh-huh.
The first person I called was Diego, and I said, "Hey, babe, guess what I did?"
Yes.
Told him, and he said, "Congratulations, I've been waiting for this day."
Wow.
Called my kids.
Uh-huh.
My son said, "Mom, what the hell's wrong with you?"
Yes, right? Who wouldn't? 20 years, it's a career. I'm sure you had 401k, you had vacation days.
You have a paycheck every other week, and he's like, "How are you going to pay your bills? What are you going to do?" And I said, "Don't worry about it."
Wow.
Don't worry about it.
You didn't even have your license there either,
No.
right? So how long after you actually quit your corporate job did you go into getting your license?
March. Started school in June.
June. Okay, so you had like a few months there.
I had to decompress.
Okay. Did you start to panic a little bit? Like, oh my God, like what am I going to do now?
I never did.
No.
Panic didn't set in until I started real estate.
Yeah, it sets in for all of us, right? In this game is so difficult, it starts setting in. Even when you have deals in escrow, there's still a lot of panic going on.
Where am I going to get paid? How am I going to get paid? But no, I started school. I think I knew in the back of my mind, because I've always loved working with people. So I think I knew in the back of my mind that I would go into real estate. And panic set in when I was in real estate 20 days, 25 days, and I didn't have
a deal.
Right. Yeah. Didn't have anything in escrow. And I thought, who the hell's going to pay my bills?
Right.
And it was like day 35, probably day 40, my first transaction hit.
Wow. But you still have to wait another 30 to 40 days before you actually got paid, right?
I did.
We don't. It's funny because oftentimes we come into this industry thinking that, okay, I got my license, I'm going to get paid now, right? Especially being conditioned as a manager or an employee for so long. Hey, if you work certain hours, you're going to get paid.
You have a paycheck.
Yeah, you have a paycheck. So here you are working 35 days. There's nothing in the pipeline. You finally get someone to raise their hand. Was it a buyer?
It was buyer.
Okay, so you find them a house. Now you have to wait another 40 to 45 days before you got paid.
Yep.
So that's when it really started setting in. Like, oh
That's
my
when
gosh.
it started to set in.
What kind of doubts? I mean, because we have a lot of realtors that listen to this, and some have been in it for years. Some of them are just getting started. And oftentimes, I think the ones that just get started think that they're the only ones going through those feelings of, did I make the right move? Am I built to be in this industry? And the doubt that comes along with it. Those are real thoughts for you as well, right?
Oh yeah. Can I do this?
Yeah.
Can I do this? And all those thoughts started coming in January of 18 for me. I probably had 6 deals in escrow maybe.
Wow.
And I remember looking at Diego and I started crying.
Wow.
And he was like, "Why are you crying?"
Yeah.
And I said, "I don't know that I can do this."
After having 6 in escrow, the doubt really sets in.
People don't realize real estate is not easy.
No.
Real estate there's nothing sexy about what we do. It's hard.
Yeah.
There are a lot of laws, litigation. I mean, you name it. Your name's on the line.
Right.
You are on the line. And I had that thought and I was like, I don't think I can do this.
Yeah.
Is this really happening? Because you know what's about to happen.
What was about to happen?
I was going to probably make more money and have more than I did in half a year of being someone's employee.
Wow. So it's almost like an upper limit, right? Is this like what's going on here?
Am
There's
I
an influx.
worthy of this?
Yes.
You have all these thoughts, all this. That's when your self-doubt starts to kick in.
Yeah.
And it did. And I doubted myself. And he said, "Stop crying and get it together.
Wow.
You can do this. You need to show everybody that you can."
That's awesome.
And it was like, shit, yeah, you know what? You're right. So anytime, he's always just pushed me.
Yeah, supported and pushed you.
You are capable of anything, Michelle. So that self-doubt it comes and goes.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's never
how that
going
works.
to go away.
And it's amazing how that works for us, though. It's like, and it happens a lot with small businesses, or anytime we reach a certain level of success or happiness, if we're not used to it, we subconsciously and sometimes consciously sabotage ourselves, right, by shutting down.
Yep.
Because it feels too good, right? Because we're supposed to struggle for everything. We're supposed to not make it this easy or this successful so quickly. I mean, for you to sell over $4 million in your first year as a realtor, it's not supposed to happen. You're like the small fraction of a fraction that actually do that, right? So there is a lot of that thought of, okay, can I continue this? Was it a fluke? Is it just temporary? Was it, that we start making things up in our minds that the doubt becomes so overwhelming that we slow down our progression.
Right.
And I think, anytime we hit a new level of that, it happens often. But now the key is to identify it as it happens and understand that, hey, it wasn't luck that got you here. You struggled through it. You fought for it.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Especially fighting through it when you don't see any results has to be the most difficult thing. And I think that's what really why our statistics as new realtors coming into the industry are so high of them failing, is because they think that they don't have the capability to continue to move forward, right? And if they did, they would have much the results that you did, which is I'm just going to keep going even though the results are not there.
Right.
Although all the indicators are telling me to quit, you keep going.
And I had to keep going. With what we do, being self-employed, I could sleep till 10 o'clock in the afternoon if I wanted to.
Yeah.
12 if I wanted to. You have to be self-disciplined in this. And all year long, the thing that kept replaying in my mind was the last day of class. The instructor told us, look around the room. We all looked around the room. only 7% of you will be here next year.
Wow. Those are the real facts.
The rest of you are going back to work. And you know what, AZ? I was not going back to work for anyone. And I never will.
Yeah.
But I have to be disciplined in everything that I do.
So what would be the advice to someone that just got their license, or someone that hasn't created the results you have and they've been in the business 5, 7, 10 years? Because I run into that a lot. Individuals that have been in this business for 5, 10 years and have not created half of what you created, or a fraction of what you've created. What would you tell those individuals, like, to how to really just get going?
You know, for me,
Yeah.
it's coming to AZ and Associates was probably, no, it was the best decision besides getting my license.
Awesome.
And leaving a company that I was no longer happy at. Best decision that I ever made. You can go anywhere. You can hang your license wherever you want to hang it. You have, on the inside, have to produce. You have to be self-disciplined. But coming here and having you and Carla, having that real, that raw, that transparency, that in your face, stop posturing, Michelle.
Yeah.
When I'll never forget when I said to you, help me with my marketing. I'm bored with what I'm doing. And you and Carla looked at me and said, how many times have you gone live? It's about accountability. I can go anywhere I want.
Yes.
But the key is go someplace that people actually care about you. It's like having a realtor that you're just a transaction. We're not just realtors to you.
Right.
And to Carla. It makes a huge difference when you're somewhere where people truly care about you.
Yeah.
You got to be able to take the heat if you're going to be here. And that's by no means, you cannot be weak.
Yes.
And you will grow while you're here. But if someone is struggling, honestly, I would tell them, you've got to come here. AZ and Associates is not just a brokerage. We're a family. And we are a bunch of badass agents. What I did in my first year in real estate, I would not have done if I would have gone somewhere else.
Oh.
I would have probably gone back to work because I can believe in myself all day, every day. I had this team backing me every single step of the way. You can't get that anywhere.
Yeah. So the environment is very important. I think,
environment is huge.
Amazing that you said that. And, you know, I've seen you like really rise up from that, not taking it. And you said that you almost have to have like, I don't want to sound too like thick skin to be able to understand that you got to face the truths, right? And not sugarcoat everything. It's like, okay, facing the truths of what's truly holding you back, right? And it's one of those things that if you're able to do that, you'll see this environment as exactly that. We want you to succeed at a high level, but if people take offense to what we say or how we operate certain things, then good luck in the real world, because they're going to eat you alive.
This is a dog-eat-dog world.
It really is. Yeah. And here all we're asking for individuals to do is to look at their truths, right?
Right.
And to bring that responsibility squarely on themselves and say, okay, what is it that I need to do now? And you've been able to rise from that because you've taken full responsibility for that. You said, if my results are because of what you've done. Your results are because of what you've done and your commitment to show up every day. Even though it's painful to sometimes face, you decided to go that route. We were talking earlier, and you said that not only did your business change, but there was other things in your life that changed altogether. And you brought up a meeting, and you actually had the dates of when it was, which I completely forgot. Like the day, I could remember the meeting. And it was one that was headed by, it was a Do the Work event, and Carla headed that. Tell us a little bit about your experience there in June of 2018, right?
So we had that meeting downtown, and I'll never forget, I can see Carla standing in front of me, and it was as if she was talking to me. She was talking about the truths that people hold on the inside, the secrets, not the truths, the secrets that people hold on the inside and never allowed to come out. And they posture and they posture. I lost it.
Because that was your life at that moment.
That was my life. I lost it. And I thought, something has to change. Something has to change. You know, I was a heavy drinker on the weekends. I wasn't an alcoholic. I was the person that, gosh, she's such a nice person until you start drinking with her. And I could switch. I was like Jekyll and Hyde, switch in a second. And I'm sitting there thinking, gosh, the month before, I tell my son, who is my entire world, he's my only son, I told him in a drunken stupor, he didn't mean shit to me.
Wow.
And that really bothers me, that I would say something like that to him, because he is my world.
Yes.
And the weekend before, I made an ass of myself. You know, it was nonstop. You never knew who you were going to be partying with. And I didn't want to do that anymore. So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, something about me has to change. And in my mind, I'm going through everything. Oh, well, I'll start working out more. Oh, I'll start eating better. Oh, I'll start doing this. And in that moment, I thought, how about you stop doing what creates this big, huge monster? Stop sedating yourself. Stop the bullshit. And I knew I have to quit drinking. I have to quit drinking. And all these things started racing through my mind. How do I have fun then? Yes. What am I going to do? How I've never been to a wedding. I've never been to a party. I've never been here and didn't drink. I'm the life of the party. How? But that was the only way I was going to not only be healthy out here, because I'm a shell, but what's on the inside is truly what my clients, my family, my friends, anyone around me, that's what they're going to get. So do I continue feeding them bullshit and poison?
Oh, wow.
Or do I change? And I decided to change. And it's almost been 9 months and I'm still alcohol free. It doesn't bother me.
Wow.
But a lot has changed.
Tell me what's changed. Tell me what's changed. Wait, and it came down to a simple decision. Like, you were thinking about other things that you can change about yourself, but it really was the elephant in the room that you just were avoiding until you looked it square in the eyes. You said, okay, I'm taking you down, type thing, right?
Right.
And I remember that meeting, and I remember as you were leaving, you mentioned that. You mentioned that, like, things are going to change.
I had to make a proclamation. Otherwise, I might be that person that says, I'm going to try.
I'm going to try.
Because trying is failure. It's immediate failure. If you're going to try to do something, just don't even say it.
Yeah.
So I had to make the proclamation, and I had to say, I'm doing it. And I'll never look back. Because, you know, and with that came some dark and murky times. The transformation from that was, I wanted to shut down. I went to events, and I was the elephant in the room.
Right.
Everybody around me is drinking.
Like, what's going on
and
with
I'm
Michelle?
the sober one.
Yeah.
And a lot of the questions came, why did you quit drinking?
What happened?
What happened? And I was honest about it, because I'm a shitty person.
Wow.
Because I hurt people that I love. Because the things that I've told them will never, it's like that piece of wood. You put the nail inside of it, you pull the nail out, those are my words. Wow. But guess what's still there? That hole is still there. And all these years, I hurt so many people along the way. But yet, I recovered from it, but they never did.
Yes.
And they never will. Wow. So with that came a lot of, I have become a completely different person to a point where there are things that I just won't do anymore. I choose where I'm going to go, if I'm going to go to an event, because I just don't want to be around that all the time.
Right.
It doesn't stop me. I still go to friends' things, the parties that they're having or whatnot, but
you're intentional about how you're going to...
Yes, I'm very intentional about what I'm going to do with my time because it's my time. I love being around the people that I love. And if that means that we do events together, we go places together, that's what I'm going to do. But I have to take my life and my business to a different level. And if that means that people that were once my friends, family even, that I have to leave them behind, then I will. Because at the end of the day, no one's going to take care of me or love me more than I'm going to do all that on my own. If I don't love myself, like I didn't for many years, because I walked around in victim mode. Oh, poor Michelle. You know, this happened to her, this happened to her. Oh, I'm just going to hug myself. And then I'm going to sedate myself and drink 2 bottles of wine tonight. That's not who I am anymore. So doing that has really helped me elevate to the next level. Wow. in here, and I project what I feel on the inside, I project it on the outside. And it's like, have you ever seen someone in a pregnant woman? That probably sound right, but and you think, God, look at the glow in your face.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Wow. Great analogies.
That's how I feel.
And I can feel that as well. You know, your energy is just very contagious. I can tell you're in a good place. And obviously, a lot of people think that once you discover this, that everything is perfect now moving forward. That's not the case, right? The way you handle the imperfections that happen in life is the real growth, right?
Right.
It's how to be able to handle those obstacles, those tragedies, those problems. That's the difference. Like we never become free of problems, just the way we handle the problems and adversity, right? And I can see that. Yeah, I mean, your confidence radiates that. Like I know who I am. I love who I am, and I'm going to go after the things that I know that I'm capable of doing.
Yes.
How has it impacted your family? Like, how do your kids see you with all this transformation? Not only building a business, but letting go of the dysfunctions that were holding you back. You're obviously more connected with who you are and also with those that you love. How are they receiving all this?
My kids love that I don't drink. They love the mom that doesn't drink because they've never seen her before.
Wow.
They didn't know who she was because, and again, they love their mom regardless. I've always been there for them. But when I would drink, it was, who's she going to lash out at? Who's going to feel the wrath of this woman? And, you know, as a parent, I tell my kids I'm proud of them. But now, when they tell me that they're proud of me, they're 24, 23, 22, and 20. And hearing those words come from them that, Mom, I'm proud of you.
Wow.
For for everything that I've done. I'm always going to be their mom. They were going to love me regardless, whether I was a shitty person or not. But now they can look at me and they know that Mom's going to show up to the wedding and she's not going to make an ass of herself. You know, here she is, 46 years old, or however, I think I was 44, 45 when I left the company, the corporate America. And here she started her own business.
Yeah, started her own business.
And it's never too late. And they look at me and they think, she's doing it. She's doing her thing. When I see things that they share of mine, and I didn't have to ask them, they refer me out to everybody. It's like that really makes me feel amazing because they believe in me.
Yes. And they trust you.
They trust me, and they know that I'm not going to mess something up. I mean, I'm not that person anymore. And they've said it. They've said it before. No, my mom doesn't drink anymore. You know, they know I'm not going to mess up a night, because I have messed up a lot of nights. From the time that they were little to the time that they were in their 20s, I've messed up a lot of nights.
Wow.
And they don't have to worry about their mom anymore.
You've become dependable, trustworthy.
Trustworthy.
Wow. Amazing. And I can only imagine, you know, what you just said. It's like, I think all of us as parents, we always say things like that. Oh, I'm so proud of my daughters. They make me so proud. But we never see it from their perspective. Like, are they proud of us? You know, and I think we always have a job to do, and it's through example. We can say all day long and give them the best advice ever, but if we're not living in that truth, it's just a bunch of hot air. That's all it is. So now when you hear those words, is because they see it. It's through your actions.
Right.
And you also continue to lead your family because they're watching you. They're seeing what a powerful woman is, not a sedated one,
Right.
not a victim of a person, but a person that just decided to take all these obstacles and own them and understand that, hey, this was meant to make me more powerful, and now I have a story to tell.
Right.
And your story goes deeper than that, and those that need to hear it will hear it from you. But you positioned yourself in a place where, you know, it's inspiring, because there's so many people that are dealing with certain things from their past and certain behaviors that are just really causing them that misery and causing problems within their household and within their lives, and the only way they know how to solve it is through sedation of some sorts, or just, you know, shutting down altogether, depression and being overwhelmed by anxiety, and you've been able to kind of proclaim your stake and completely own it, and it's changed all your relationships.
Yes, it has.
It's changed how you see yourself too.
Yes. I broke a cycle
It's generational.
that's generational. And I won't have to worry that my kids will live the cycle that I did, because I put an end to it.
Wow.
And I'm creating a new life, not just for myself, but for them. And I'm watching them create their lives. And they will not be who I was, because I stopped it.
Yeah.
And that for me is just, I mean, by far the best feeling in the world.
It's amazing. We were talking about this earlier. It's like an awakening of sorts, right? Like,
It
perspective just gives you an awakening. Like, maybe we don't have the life that we want because we decided not to have that life. It's an awakening when you wake up and you're like, look at all these behaviors that are not helping me. And when you start just making small changes, then it becomes a snowball effect of the results. Right now in your business alone, you have like 8 deals in escrow, the most you've ever had. And you have this momentum building. You have an office out in Goodyear, right?
Yes.
The Goodyear office, Goodyear location. And things are lining up. But none of it was by luck.
None of this happens by luck. You truly have to put yourself out there. And today I posted about change being inevitable and growth being an option. That's an everyday struggle.
Yes.
You know, people fear change because why am I going to change something that's broken? That's not broken, because in their mindset, what they do every day, that was me. What I do every day, it's not broken. It's running perfectly fine. But when you change, you see that it was broken. And you see those things that you used to do weren't things that you should have been doing. You can't grow until you change.
Wow.
You'll always be the same person. And, you know, like, I think about myself, corporate versus who I am today. Corporate, I was a lion, but I was a lion in the cage.
Wow.
I'd roam in the area they gave me.
Yeah. And you were dominated it.
And I did what I was supposed to do. They fed me.
Mm-hmm.
I ate, received a paycheck. And I would still continue to do what they needed me to do, not what I wanted to do. In real estate, I'm the lion outside of the cage.
Wow.
No one's going to feed me. I have to feed myself. I can roam wherever I want. I can move at the pace I want to move. I can do whatever I want to do. But it's all up to me, because I will starve if I don't do the work.
Amazing. I love that analogy. We're going to be using that as its own clip here, okay? So make a note on that. For those of you listening on our podcast, again, this is Michelle Cordova, and she's our top rookie of the year. And the analogies that she's given and the changes that she's made is simply amazing. And, you know, it came down to her just making a decision, having that clarity of what she wanted exactly. And I don't think we ever ask ourselves that question enough. It's like, what do you want? What do you want? Yeah, I think we all know what we don't want, right? We don't want to be unhappy. We don't necessarily want our job or like this. But when we have to make clear decisions of what do we want, that adds a lot of uncertainty to everything. But the more you just continue to lean in, the more you continue to work on yourself, and you said like your mind has expanded, that becomes more of a real possibility of finding out what it is that you want.
Right.
And for you, I see it like how you changes. You said, I don't want to be this person, but at the same time, you had to ask yourself, who do I want to be? And you've grown to be that example for many, and you're doing things that most can't do right now just because they're still stuck in those cycles, right? Mm-hmm. So what would you say was the, I guess, defining moment of where you finally realize that I am that lion outside of the cage? Like, is that something you just knew automatically, or did you just kind of after, you know, doing your studying and working on yourself and seeing what you did, like how did that come about where you felt so confident in saying I can attack, you know, I can go at it?
It was, in a big way. It was after working on myself. It was probably one of those dark and murky moments where you're going through that transformation, and I was reflecting on who I was.
Yeah.
And I thought, I just put it together of being in a cage. And then I thought of, you know, it was looking at myself today at that time, at that moment. And I'll never forget that day I was going through a lot mentally, emotionally, because I was breaking down, and it was like a shutting process.
Yeah.
I was in the process of rebuilding, because in order to change again, you have to always break yourself down and begin to rebuild again. And it's something that we have to do all the time. But at that moment, I was sitting there reflecting, in doubt. And I thought, gosh, in trucking, you were a beast. You were the go-to person. If they needed a deposition done in Oregon and LA and wherever it was, they sent Michelle. I could have 5 attorneys deposing me at one time and be done at 4:00 on my way back to Arizona.
Wow.
And it was, you used to be a beast. You used to be this. And I stopped and I looked at myself and I thought, you also used to be this damn lion that was inside this cage that really was never going to go anywhere. Mm-hmm. People were just looking at you as, oh yeah, that's Michelle. Michelle comes into work all dressed up and to the nines, and she can get it done. You're creating a new name for yourself. You're still a lion, but you're not caged up anymore. If you want to eat, you better get your ass outside. And you better start calling people, and you better hunt.
You gotta hunt. You gotta be able to hunt. I love this. You know, there's so many layers. You're a big, you ride motorcycles as well, right?
Yes.
As a matter of fact, one of your daughter, well, her name is
Harley.
Harley.
Harley Madison.
That's so awesome. And so just imagine this, we have this podcast, Badass Agents, and when you hear these stories, you know why there was no other way to name this type of podcast, because you're doing very unique things. What you've done, the changes you've made. You also, you're riding a Harley on a consistent basis, and just this amazing story. Where do you think people get stuck at? Like, how big of a reality was it for you to, like, not be in this industry? Like, that was a real possibility, right? I think it is for all of us, when we enter something new. If there was one thing, let me rephrase this. If there was one thing you could tell yourself, looking back to the Michelle of 12 months ago, as you were having these doubts of, can I make this? What would be the one thing you would tell that person to kind of, I guess, help or expedite the results?
Sitting in self-doubt at that moment, if I could go back and just look myself in the eyes, yes, you can do this, and yes, you will do this. Those are the only words, really, that I needed to hear at that point, because you're in a self-doubt moment. You're pitying yourself.
Yes.
You're feeling sorry for yourself. It's like, gosh, am I really capable of doing this? Yes, you're capable of doing this. That's all a person needs to hear is, yes, you can. And you will do it. Get yourself together and get out the door. That's what I would have gone back and told
them. Yeah, and that's exactly what you do to this day, right? It's that same recalibrating and recommitting on a consistent basis. It's not like you arrive at having a raise and then always staying there. It's like you could have one great month, and then completely blow for the next few months if we're not committed to doing the things that are required to succeed at a high level. Now, I see the passion and the drive that you have, and the authenticity, and like, you're a person people can trust. What can your clients expect from you?
For me, I always go back to Stephen Covey, because I look at the tree. I am the tree. My character and my integrity are the roots of that tree. The actual stump is my intent. I'm transparent. They will know my motives. They'll know my agenda.
Yes.
And my capabilities. The top and the fruit on the top of the tree are my results, because I will bear fruit for them. It's every single client that I have. I always tell them, I will walk this walk with you. At no time will I ever leave your side. I will have your back 100%.
Wow.
And I do. I am with them from the beginning. I am with them at the end. I never ask anyone, hey, can you do me a favor and deliver keys so I can go out of town? I do everything, because that's important to me. When I tell you that I'm going to walk this journey with you, that's exactly what I'm going to do. We're doing it together because we're a team. I'm your partner. I'm by your side. I'm committed to you. I'm determined, and I'm going to make sure that you get those results. No one is different. I mean, that's how I've built the trust with so many people that I do have, because no one's just going to hand me trust and say, here, it's my life savings. I trust that you're going to, I have to earn it.
Yes.
And with the results that I have, with every person that I have helped get into a home or I've sold their home, I'm building trust along the lines. And if they don't know me, they're just not going to hand this to me and say, okay, go ahead.
Yes.
I have to build everything that I do. I have to build it.
That's amazing. And you can say that with so much conviction, because you know that's exactly what you're going to deliver. And oftentimes, I think people in our industry take that for granted, right? And it's just a transaction, and you make it a personal, like a promise to them that you're going to go through this process with them, because it truly can be their life savings that they have on the line, and your results are the byproduct of that.
Right.
That's the reason why you have what you have. And as opposed to being transactional, you're almost like a transformational type of process, right? You're changing the lives of your clients. At the same time, they want you to help other clients for them as well, other of their referrals, right? Because you're getting a lot of referral business. And I think that's important. It's about building those relationships and building that trust and getting to know them on a personal level. And that's something that we also do here at A's and Associates. It's exactly what you were saying, is when your clientele base can look at you and say, she's got my best interest in mind, it's like, yeah, you can focus on what you want at that point. You're not like, okay, is there a different agenda with her? Is there something else going on? Is she looking for a quick paycheck? It comes from the heart.
Yes.
That's well said, well put together here. And we're going to go ahead and how can clients reach you? Let's go ahead and put that out there. What's the best way to reach you? Can they follow you on social media?
You can find me on Facebook through Michelle Cordova. You can find my Facebook page, my business page also under Michelle Cordova Makes It Happen. My Instagram is AZ_realtor M Cordova. I'm on Twitter. Gosh, awesome. I'm all over the place.
All over the place.
Snapchat.
She's all over the place, and she's also here for you. So remember that. So if you're looking for someone to represent your best interest, look no further than Michelle Cordova. And I do have one last question for you. I want to say, first of all, thank you. I'm honored to be here and to witness your growth. It makes me happy. We talked about this. It fuels my ambitions. Because I know that you're just getting started as well. I mean, this is just the beginning of a beautiful journey that you're on, and none of this is easy. And I've seen you go through this process and just emerge as powerful, and that's a beautiful thing. The person you've always been, but now it's under your terms,
right?
Under your terms, and that's beautiful. There, but. What would you say to those that are stuck in their business and maybe looking to move to A's and Associates, but are kind of on the fence? What are some of the things you would tell them?
It would be your best decision to come to A's and Associates. I would not, and I can say that with everything that I have, I would not have been able to sell what I did in my first year of real estate had I gone anywhere else. And the reason that I say that is having you and Carla behind you, along with everyone else, everyone here wants to see you win.
Yeah, win.
It's not about having the number one realtor in Arizona. It's about having the number one team in Arizona. And like you say all the time, I hear it, and I know it, and I tell other people. We might not be the biggest brokerage, but if you look at price per agent,
sales
per agent, you are talking about, that's why we're called badass agents, because we take what you give us, what Carla gives us, and we elevate to a next level. We don't just stay at that level. We continue to keep doing this, because when you're here, it's all about winning. It's about pushing that person to the next, elevating to the next level. If you're unsure, if you've been doing this, if you're someplace where you're not getting the training that you feel that you need to be getting, you've got to come here. If you don't like it, then go to another brokerage. But I guarantee you, once you're here, you will find yourself, and you will find everything will come with that. Your success, everything is going to come with that. Because once you find who you truly are, you become very powerful. And sometimes it might scare the shit out of you. But you need to have that. And a lot of people, I'm just going to put it out there. No one else is going to care about what happens to one of the thousands of realtors that are out there. Coming here will make a difference in anyone's life. It did in mine. I mean, and I've said this to you many times, but I thank you and Carla for the impact that you've had in my lives. And I'm a firm believer that people don't just meet on accident. Everything that you go through for a reason. Whether it's to help someone else down the line, which you guys have helped me, and I will help others. It's a pay it forward coming here, to be honest with you. There's just no, if you're stuck, come and talk to Carla and AZ. Call me, talk to me. I mean, call me 480-261-9547. Text me. I'd be more than willing to sit down with you. But you have to be able to break yourself down, rebuild yourself in order to be successful in anything that you do, whether it's family, career, anything. And here, that's exactly what you're going to get.
I got chills as you were saying that, Michelle. And you summed it up very nicely. It's about winning, right? Winning in the game of life.
Yes.
In all aspects, having those powerful relationships, being a leader, and that's exactly, you emerge as, you've always been that person, but now it's like voicing that and unapologetically, right? And becoming this powerful being, embracing that person that is going to help others as well. And that's what, I guess, what fuels ambition is knowing that there's impact behind that.
Right.
Money will have its limitations. Fueling others has no limitation. And you're doing that, and I'm seeing the impact that you're making. And I know I see the trajectory you're on. And I'm honored. I'm very honored to run with you, Michelle. And I know this is only the beginning for you. And again, I want to thank you for coming on to Badass Agents Podcast. What a great interview. Like, I am just full of great emotion. I got chills a couple times, Michelle, just you, the analogies you gave, and just the power and the energy. If you could be in this room, and I know Richard can agree, it's just very magnetic, right? People will be drawn to you, and they continue to get drawn to you. But thank you again for those that have listened to and supported our podcast here, a Badass Agents Podcast. And I want to, again, thank you, Michelle, for coming on and sharing the insights. And this is what it's all about. Just really finding yourself and discovering what is it that you truly want. And this is possible for everyone and anyone. But again, if you're a licensed agent in the state of Arizona and are looking for more information on AZ and Associates, go to badassagents.com. Also, I want to remind you that if you're a listener and looking to buy or sell, there's someone great here right next to me now, Michelle Cordova, so make sure to reach out to her. Thank you again, Michelle.
Thank you, AZ.
And guys, I will talk to you soon. Have a great day. Bye now.